listening to our podcast, the Slowpoke Travel podcast. We hope you enjoy our podcast. The podcast starts right now. Slowpoke Travel podcast with Buck and Camera Girl. Ta-da!
Welcome to Slowpoke Travel. We're sitting in the Parque Jardín.
No.
Jardín Allende.
Oh my God. Wait, just stop.
As many times as we've sat here in this park. And I should know, it's the Central Park in San Miguel de Allende. And there we go. Here's our beautiful faces, and we're on our phones doing stuff because we've been doing phone stuff all morning.
We have not.
You don't think so? It feels like it because the moment that I got up this morning, oh, there goes the church bells. So you're going to hear all kinds of sounds in this video.
Jardín Allende.
Jardín
Allende.
Jardín Allende is the name of this park. And that's the church next to the park making those bell sounds. And you're going to hear all kinds of sounds.
Beautiful.
Because we're going to be walking around doing a podcast. And
Parroquia de San Miguel Archangel.
We'll see how it works. The key to a successful podcast for us is to not try to speak Spanish.
Exactly. It's so sad.
It's so sad. But we have been running around doing phone stuff today. Because yesterday, when we got to Querétaro, you got us a phone plan, and it was supposed to last for how long?
26 days.
26 days. How long did it last?
Maybe 20, 21. And
20?
today, and I was able to look online, and it was like, oh, it's expired. And it's like, wait, it shouldn't. It tells me we have it until the 9th. But anyway, we went, and a nice man, with the help of Google Translate, was able to get us back online very quickly for the price that we had seen online.
Yeah.
And he
but
just
it's the same price we paid before.
Oh yeah.
And we got whacked out of a week of service we were supposed to get.
And he was saying sometimes they may cut it off thinking you're done. And I was like, what?
So they don't give you the plan that you buy. They just cut it off whenever they think you're done.
I don't know exactly, but we prefer to go ahead and pay in cash to recharge. We could also do it because we're using Telcel.
Yeah.
So we could do it online, but it's just easier, and plus I get to practice a little bit of communication even with my bad Spanish. And,
yeah, we don't like to put our credit card numbers in anything, but especially in a foreign website where we're not really sure what it says, and especially where they're already kind of messing up our service a little bit.
Well, we're just not getting the exact number of days that it says we will.
Yeah, we got whacked out about 20% of what we paid for.
Well, the good news is...
And how much did we pay?
It's like $8 for a month.
$8 a piece for a month.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a great deal. It's less than $20 for both of us to have service.
So
for 26 days, theoretically. We've tried it once, and we got 20 days, so we'll try it again. But we got up this morning, and I wanted to go to a coffee shop and practice my Spanish. And then I told you I was either going to be at this coffee shop or I was going to be at another coffee shop.
Right.
And I went to the first one, and it wasn't open, although it was supposed to be open because of the hours posted. But it's Mexico. You have to be relaxed.
Well, yeah, you go with the flow.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow because, hours are, you can almost bank on them, but you can almost not bank on them sometimes. So it all depends on what kind of outfit it is. If it's a small shop, if it's kind of a mom and pop operation, they might be creative with the hours. It's hard to say.
Yes, but that's one of the things we really enjoy is that there's such a lovely vibe. You go down the street and there are people with their children, and yes, they're coming home from school or whatever, but they're not like, it's just not as frenzy.
That's true. You got to be more relaxed in Latin America.
Yes, and what you get in exchange is, well, of course, wonderful food, but lovely people.
Yes.
But yeah, with the phone, I'm just glad, even without a lot of the language, we are able to sort of work it out. I always have a couple of canned sentences that I want to ask them, and I've translated. And when the phone is working, if nobody's waiting, we never go anywhere where somebody's bustling and busy and here, help me with my Spanish.
Yes. Takes a lot of the pressure off if you go in the non-peak time.
Yes, exactly. And so this was another lovely man. So after saying this is what we want for 2 numbers, we want to recharge these. And then I was able to say, but we thought we had it till this date. And he was able to answer in a way that I understood. So it was like, yay!
And lots of places we've been in Mexico, you don't encounter a lot of English.
Which is great, because it makes us work.
Yeah, but in some places you do. And we're in San Miguel de Allende.
Yes.
And even this fella here, he didn't really speak English, but he spoke English a lot better than we speak Spanish.
And I'm not sure he didn't speak it better. I think it's right that we should work on Spanish. But you're right, he was lovely.
Yes, but he had a little bit of English, so we could bridge maybe the parts
and
where
numbers.
we were flubbing, yes.
Because he would say it in English and I'd say it back to him in Spanish so I could practice. But anyway, but at breakfast, we were trying to speak Spanish, and those people, they're so used to gringos. And and it worked out. He was so lovely because you wanted a particular kind of egg. And you knew huevos, and you knew revueltos.
Well, he offered me a poached egg, and I did want an egg with a soft center, but you know, as a guy that's cooked in some kitchens, and most of the kitchens I've cooked in have been like diners and, you know, bed and breakfast, a little thing, and so a poached egg is a pain in the butt. If somebody asks me for a poached egg, well, I generally don't have a pot of boiling water ready to poach an egg.
Right.
So it's I sort of roll my eyes and go, just get an over easy egg, you munchkin, you know. So.
And so you asked him, and you were trying to say, "Isn't that difficult?" I used to do,
not difficult. It's just
a pain in the butt.
It's just a pain in the butt, unless you're set up to poach an egg real quick. But anyway, it was. I don't know why it was difficult, because when I'm working in a restaurant, I've worked a lot as a waiter and a cook. I just want people to tell me what they want, and just, I don't need a little show, and I don't need to see how cute you are. Just tell me what you want so I can write it down and we can get this thing rolling.
Yeah, but Buck, I don't know if you recognize how many times, you don't do it as much anymore. When we first got together and we'd go somewhere, you've said that over and over that, I want to be low maintenance. And what you would say is they would ask you 2 choices. This is in English. Yeah. And you would go, whatever's easiest. And I saw the nano expressions on their face, like, just tell me. And I thought, wait a minute, you were just saying. But anyway.
I don't remember this. I think that's
a
fabrication. I don't know why you're making up this story. That doesn't sound like me at all.
No, it is not. But anyway, so you are right. We did do something with the phones, because last night I had to look a couple things up and try to figure out if I'd misunderstood, which I didn't, the end date. And then today, but what did it take?
It just took a few moments,
5
but it kind
minutes.
of mucked up our whole morning a little bit, because I couldn't go to the first coffee shop. I
right,
went to the second coffee shop, and there was young people working there, and the music was I was like, I can't do my Spanish, in this quasi-discotheque. So then it was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be at either of the coffee shops where I told you I was going to be, and I can't message you because our phones are kaput. So then I went to the library, because I knew that they probably would have some Wi-Fi there that I could tap into.
And we have VPN, so it'd be safe. Yeah.
And I went there. It was just a little after 9 o'clock in the morning. And the little cafe next to the library was just jam-packed full of, it was a Rotary Club meeting.
Oh.
And people were like, are you here for the meeting? I'm like, no, I'm just here to piggyback on the Wi-Fi. But anyway, I sent you a message, for a third coffee shop.
Right.
And that's where we went, and that's where we met. And then we had a lovely breakfast over at Jacques.
Oh my gosh, love that place.
And then we went to the phone place, and boom, got that taken care of real quick. And then you went to 3 vitamin naturalist. Oh, I said I'm not supposed to speak Spanish. We went to some natural food stores.
Because I wanted a particular kind of, supplement. And again, you make it work. And they were all speaking Spanish, which was fantastic. So, but again, I have some terms written down, so pointing and this and that, and again,
and a lot of lo sientos, and a lot of gracias por su paciencia
y tiempo. Sí.
So we're just polite, and we fumble like children.
Yes,
but even
we do.
with your limited Spanish skills and trying to get specific things, you were able to get what?
Yeah, I was able to get it, and
What, you got some very specific vitamin C you wanted.
Yes.
What else
And
did
I
you
found a different version of magnesium. People don't want to hear what supplements.
No,
but because
people
we're
need to
not.
know.
Oh no, they don't.
Because this is going to give us super energy.
Oh, it's got to give us a little more energy.
This is going to enable us to go from dusk till dawn, like Utes.
Oh my gosh, like the Ute, like the Ute. Well, no, it's just allergens and different things seem to hit us a little harder.
Yeah,
and
the
so,
allergy stuff is weighing me down. I got some
nasal spray,
saline solution. They call it agua de la mar, which is water of the sea here. It's basically salt water. I've been spraying it up my nose for that refreshing, beachy, I'm drowning and my nose burns feeling.
Well, your nose has been really raw. I think you've been. Well, anyway, people.
I have. It's not quite as bloody as it was on our last podcast when I compared it to a crime scene.
Okay.
But I'm still losing. I guess if you had to measure it over the course of 10 years, it'd be maybe a pint every decade.
Oh my gosh, you're making me tired. But so we can fumble through, and I don't feel as mortified when I can't speak the Spanish, and I'm trying, and I've got some phrasing, and I'm just surprised if you have some key terms. You can work out a lot.
You do not need a lot.
Well, you say that, but remember the one time the lady was just asking me a very simple question, this or that, at a restaurant, and I gave her the wrong answer when I knew what I wanted because I didn't understand.
I did it the same this morning, and I did. I went to the finally went to a coffee place, and I ordered a coffee, and the lady asked me para llevar, and I was like, sí.
Not thinking about
it, and then she brought it in a to-go cup, which is what she asked me, and I said yes. And I was like, no, I want it in a regular mug, and I had told her to go. Well, I hadn't told her, but she had asked me.
So you did tell her.
Just automatically, you just throw out these C's, you throw out these yeses, you throw out these answers when people speak to you in Spanish, thinking that you know what they're saying, but you don't really know, and it can get you in trouble.
Yes.
Like today, it wasn't much trouble. I just got a paper cup instead of a mug. But if
that's a big thing for you.
If the policia starts speaking to me in Spanish, I think I'll just slow down
and not go sí.
And try to listen.
Were you on this corner at this time? Sí.
Are you looking for trouble? Sí. Anyway, we're on the square. There's an ice cream man in front of us with the ice cream cones and ice cream vendors. We've walked past 2 churro stands today.
Yeah, we have.
We haven't had any churros.
There is hope.
Yeah, and that's fried bread with sugar on it, and we love those things, but we're resisting it because we're trying to get our energy up.
It's basically donuts in a straight form.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we should call them. We should call them skinny man donuts, except that they don't make the skinny.
But yeah, right now, because we're not 100%, we're just, we're using food as medicine. So we're not giving ourselves those quote-unquote treats.
I think I hear a child being beaten, disciplined.
I think that child is chasing birds.
I hear a horn. I hear parrots, some kind of bird. Anyway, you want to get up and walk around and so we can see if we can capture some of these sounds?
Sure.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
Well, where do we want to go? We've done our chores. We're looking for another coffee place, right?
Oh, is that what you want? I'm going to follow you.
I always want that, but
I
we need
love
to get it out of the
door
way.
of that shop, Petra. Like the green and...
There's some peros. You see a lot of dogs. A lot of people walk multiple dogs.
Yeah.
There's another fellow with crutches.
Oh, it is going to be a political something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looked like they were setting up for some sort of music thing, but it looks like it's a political hoop-de-hoop. What you looking for?
Oh, I thought you were filming, and I was like, where's the camera?
No. I'm not filming. This is a podcast. I will put some visuals over this so it's a little less boring, I hope, but hopefully our conversation will be so vibrant.
Oh my.
And it will create a visual landscape. And people will just be able to close their eyes and see exactly what we're seeing.
Well, they're setting up for a very large political powwow.
Yeah, they got a bunch of chairs and speakers and everything, I guess.
A presidential campaign, yeah.
So they're getting ready to have an election?
Oh, yeah.
So
are we in our country.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Although I might have missed the primary voting. Oh, well.
What's this place here we're going by? This is where we've gotten croissants and coffee, and I really like the coffee here, but the croissant is just like a mouthful of butter.
Oh, yeah. How terrible. How terrible.
And you want to turn down this way? Yeah. This is a little less crowded. Some roads are very crowded. Some roads are not. Some roads are blocked off, especially around the square. It seems like for 1 block radius around the square, or maybe even 2 blocks.
Depending on what's going on. Well, also, isn't this where Tom Taco Tequila is?
I think that's 1 block down, and it's the other way. Don Taco Tequila, and we were having tacos, and you got some kind of mushroom soupy thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but then they had a mariachi band. There's lots of mariachi bands.
No. That one wasn't mariachi. They had a cello. They did have 2 acoustical guitars, and then they had a violin.
Well, what's the difference between that and mariachi? How were they not a mariachi band?
Horns. There was no horns.
So
it was strings.
Really? I think you might be right.
And there's a coffee shop. There you go.
You hear those church bells? That's a different church.
Beautiful.
And those are different bells. You cannot escape the bells here in San Miguel. And that's fine because they're melodic and they're beautiful. Now, when we were in Puerto Vallarta, those bells were an assault on your senses. They were like drunk people clanging pans. And you had to be drunk to enjoy it, I think.
But the part that is similar to the quartet that was singing in this restaurant, and gracias, and a mariachi, is the voices. They were very harmonious. They could sing together, and they could hold a melody.
Yeah, they sounded lovely. But it was a very small room, and we were trying to eat. I didn't want to be rude and put my fingers in my ears, but it was loud.
Well, but the other thing is they show you a laminated piece, so you pay for a song.
Yeah, they have to have a laminated selection of songs and ask you if you want them to play one of these songs.
Yes, and they tell you how much it is.
And the people kept picking songs.
Yeah, you were not happy.
I wasn't happy. They asked me, they showed me the little laminated card, and I was like, no gracias. I'm here to have a taco, not to have my eardrums blown out.
It's true.
I love your music, but I want to be about 50 feet away when you're playing. I don't want to be in a dinky room trying to stuff down my taco. All right, let's take a corner here. You got to be careful, especially going around these corners. And with these sidewalks in San Miguel de Allende, the sidewalks can range from 1 foot wide up to maybe 5 or 6 feet wide. But most of them are only 1 to 2 feet. And when Camera Girl and I are walking around, we're almost always one person behind the other.
Well, and you do have to be very, very careful. Even when it's dry, they're slippery.
You have to walk in single file. And the cars come very close, but it's pretty slow. Traffic is generally very slow. And you don't really see any accidents, do you?
I can't say that I have.
You don't really see much police presence.
Hey, Poopy.
There's a little pero. Well, he's got a little vest on, so he's not a street dog.
No. It's another gorgeous blue sky day.
Yeah. When we first got here, it felt like it was more cold than warm. We were cold all the time. And now it's gotten to where you've started turning on a ceiling fan.
Yes.
In the house, and now we've started to adopt the habit of taking a siesta. So while we were sleeping in the mornings because it was too freezing cold to get up, now we're trying to get up early.
Get all 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock is not early.
Okay.
I feel like a farmer if I get up at 6 o'clock.
Farmers are up much earlier.
Really?
Yes.
They're just having biscuits and coffee and listening to the
You're
report or
crazy.
something.
In fact, I remember my granddad, he had 2 jobs. He was fixing county sheriff cars, And then he had a big farm to run.
He sounds like a character on Dukes of Hazzard.
I heard those people talking about homemade ice cream. I wonder how they know which one has homemade. Because there's lots of vendors, especially as it's gotten a little warmer.
Look at that bright, hot, glaring sun. It's going to make us go home. Alrighty, well, we're going to have to really think about where we're going to get some coffee because we need to get our Joe before we go. And we're not going to go into Starbucks, although this isn't too bad looking at Starbucks. But I went in there the other morning because it's one of the few places that's open up at the crack of dawn. And it had the most expensive coffee of any place that we've seen so far.
Supply and demand, baby.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go in Starbucks to pay the most that I have paid for coffee in San Miguel. Do you want to go try the Velo place or whatever the heck it was called?
Which one?
It was the place I went this morning where they were doing the discotheque music.
Oh, that's another chain, isn't it?
They might be past it now. I don't know. It could be a chain in Mexico because it had a chainy feel because they had really good sign work. It felt very polished. We liked the more local, yokel, small mom and pop stuff. But we've already done one of those. We were in La Mancha this morning. And
I like this gallery. We didn't end up really going through it, but I like it. It's got mixed media. It's got paintings, sculptures.
I don't know.
It's
I'm
a
not a
little
big
of everything.
sculpture guy. I like paintings and I like primitive, folky art.
Yeah.
I like my art to look like a 5-year-old could have done it.
Really?
No, a 12-year-old. Alrighty, up here on this corner, what is that? Don't they have these in a lot of intersections on the corners?
Well, that's like General Allende back there that needs to be cleaned off all the time. It's like you're watching the intersection. It's
like a protective angel or saint?
Yes, and there's a tour, I think, that talks to you about how people choose it. Although, I don't know.
Is that why they don't have that many accidents in San Miguel?
I guess. That must be it.
They need to put angels and saints up on the intersections in the U.S., I guess, instead of traffic cameras.
Instead of what?
Instead of traffic fine cameras where they take your picture when you go through the intersection and then send you a bill.
You know, I was reading about all the ways that big cities in the U.S. are trying to get the traffic accidents down.
Yeah.
And some of it is as simple as you can't park as close to the corner.
Sure, well that makes sense.
It does. Why did it take us this long to figure that out?
That makes more sense than putting cameras everywhere and trying to make me drive thinking about cameras.
Get off that soapbox. Get off. You're going to fall. See, there's another one. There's all those galleries down there. We haven't seen all those shops and artisans.
Haven't been in many galleries at all. I guess we should go on an art walk.
We really are enjoying San Miguel de Allende. It's I was a little concerned it was going to be too gringo-ish, and there's no doubt about it. There's plenty of gringos, there's plenty of tourists. I'm not, but it's big enough. There's still a lot of a different kind of flavor than I'm used to in the U.S.
Yeah.
Which is just fantastic.
And it's cheap.
Not everything.
Not everything. I mean, by and large, it is less expensive here, even in San Miguel. Although San Miguel is probably the most expensive place we have been.
In Mexico?
In Mexico.
Yeah, even more than Ajijic.
We just did our budget for 2 weeks. And what did I say that we had spent?
$700.
Yeah, so we spent $700 in 2 weeks, and we've been out all the time doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And we definitely couldn't have done that in the United States. If we were staying in downtown Tampa and going out and doing whatever we wanted to do multiple times every day, you think it would come to $700?
Well,
even that breakfast we had this morning, which was $30.
Yes.
And that's really kind of pricey.
For us, yeah.
For what we're thinking about from Mexico. But it was a sit-down restaurant. We had 2 very nice breakfasts that included coffee. I had a very nice green juice. It included the tip. And it was, it was $450 80 pesos is what I spent.
Well, the other great thing is the green juices here. It's not all sugar. You get the fiber. You watch them.
No, it was
put all the
especially good
veggies
this
into
morning because it tasted like spinach.
Yes.
And that's kind of what
But
you
it still
want when
had
you're getting
citrus.
a green juice. So Camera Girl and I are having to walk single file. As you can see, this sidewalk is just barely wide enough for me, and the traffic is right there, so you really aren't going to be walking side by side. Boom, boom. And sometimes, especially with the buses, you have to watch out for the side mirrors, and when people turn, a lot of times they have to do like 3 and 4 point turns when they're turning from one street into another, depending on the size of their vehicle. And a lot of times you have to step down in the street and back up again when people are walking past. So just walking around is very exciting and very stressful, and I'm kind of getting my exercise because it's like being on a Stairmaster, because how big is this curb? That's almost a foot.
Yeah.
So I have to step up a foot.
Part of it, yeah.
Get it up, and if I want to go around somebody or let somebody go past, I have to step down. It's like a gym. Walking the streets in Mexico is like a giant outdoor gymnasium.
Buenas tardes.
Did you just whack somebody with your elbow?
But she forgave me.
She could tell you were a dizzy gringa. Is that paletas?
See?
Well, if the cafe doesn't work out, maybe we'll just get a paleta and go home.
Maybe.
How does that sound? Is it on this side or this side?
The
This side,
coffee
right?
shop is on this side. See?
Where's the chicken place? There's a place with rotisserie chickens around here, and I want to grab one of those chickens.
Wasn't that?
What
There
do
was
you
a
taste?
woman standing there right there.
Oh, did we just walk past it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see it. I could smell it, so I knew it was around
nope.
here. Closed.
Cerrado.
I'll tell
Okay.
you what. I'm never too excited to go to this coffee shop because the seating looks terrible. Half the time when we come, it's closed. What do you think? Should we just get a paleta and then go home for a siesta? Ooh, she's got a chicken. Maybe that's a sign.
See?
We'll pick up a paleta and a chicken. How's that?
Oh my God.
Huh?
I don't know.
Why don't you go inside and get us each a paleta, and I'll go down here and get a chicken. And then that way we'll have, with our vegetables and stuff, we'll have dinner at home. And then we'll have plenty of pollo, maybe. Okay, so you're going to get a couple of paletas?
See.
Alrighty, get me a good one, and I'll do something here. Hola. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo estás?
That will be the first meat product we have bought on the street. Not exactly the street, they have a store, but it is not a restaurante. Buenas tardes. Sabor chocolate. Oh, sí, sí, sí. Chocolate
¿Con coco?
un coco. Por favor, pistachio. Muchas gracias.
¿En
¿Cuesta?
una bolsita?
Oh, no, gracias. Ah, perfecto. ¿Al cuesto?
75, por favor.
Gracias. Okay.
Una pollo, por favor.
¿Un pollo?
Sí.
¿Adobado o al ajo?
Ah,
¿Adobo o ajo?
con ajo, garlic. Sí, con ajo. Gracias. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
140.
Hasta luego. Alrighty, so I got a chicken, like a rotisserie chicken, for 140 pesos, and then she cut it up and she gave me some potatoes with it, and now Camera Girl
Really?
is here. She's offering me a paleta.
That has coconut in the inside, but it's a little fancier than what we usually get. You ready to cross?
Sure, is there a bench where we can sit right around here?
I might need baño.
I'm looking for a bench, but camera girl wants a baño. I don't know if paleta is the ideal food to eat on the street. Especially one with nuts and raisins on it. This is like a coconut ice cream on a stick covered in chocolate with granola and raisins.
Whew.
Stuck
Took
to
a little
it.
bit to get the paper off the pailleta. Some of the places, they use a knife and they cut it so it'll come off easier.
I don't think eating and chewing makes for great podcasting, but
How is
this
it?
is like an ASMR podcast.
This pistachio is really good. It's not quite as sweet as some of them.
Quanto cuesta?
75 altogether.
Watch out for the perro.
Thank you.
We're going by a construction site. And a lot of times at construction sites, when they're not there, you know, they'll be gated up, but there'll be a dog there. I guess it's kind of like a security system. I mean, I don't think all these construction people are dog lovers.
People have dogs for security in Mexico. But thank you. You kept me from dropping my paleta when the dog barked.
That dog was eyeballing us as we came up. Well, here, you want to switch and have a bit of this and I'll have a bit of that? Well, I feel like I've been out and about all morning.
You have.
So I don't know if I'm going to have to go out anymore today. What do we got at home? We got some broccoli. We got all kinds of vegetales.
Poblano pepper, jalapeno.
We got a nice, beautiful terrace to sit on, overlooking the city because we're staying at a Wunderbar house sit. Anyway, if you want to find out about house sitting, if you have any interest in it, I've got a playlist down below. You can check out some of our house sitting videos. Yeah, and check out trustedhousesitters.com, which is what we use. And if you use our code down below, I think you'll get like 20% off, and then I think we'll get like an extra month or something free. Anyway, you'll benefit. I'll benefit. Isn't that how the world is supposed to work?
The barter system.
That's it. There's a Patreon down below if you want to buy us a cup of coffee. Well, thanks a bunch for listening and watching. And next time, we'll see you again from San Miguel de Allende in Mexico. Adios. Alrighty, that is it. Click, subscribe, review, share all over the global internet sphere. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time on the Slowpoke Travel Podcast.